Hello everybody, I'm Brune here with Geaux247, and today we're going to be looking at my personal rankings of the 2022 class from 14 down to 1, not including the kicker signee Nathan Dibbert, who I've heard great things about. I've seen some of his tape. I mean, he's supposed to be a great player, but we're going to focus on the 14 offensive and defensive players for this video. Again, this is my personal rankings. This is not 24/7. This is not representative of Geaux247, Shea, Sonny. These are my own, Matthew Brune's. So if you got a problem with them, leave them in the comments, leave them on our board. Let me know what I got wrong. These are not going to be the same as the composites. These are not going to be the same as 24/7s, or else that would be pointless, right? You could just go over there if you want to look at those. Those people are probably more qualified than me, so they're probably more correct than me. But after looking at all the film, after analyzing it, if you've been on our site, if you're a VIP, you know that I've gone through every single player with film analysis. And broken down their games from kind of top to bottom. So I feel confident in this, but at the same time, it's recruiting. You'll never get it 100% right. So I'm sure I'll be wrong on plenty of this. But without further ado, without talking your ear off, let's get right into it. From 14 down to 1, these are all very good players in a very good class. It's a small class, but it's a very good class. So let's get started. At number 14, we have Bordland, and he is a 6'5" offensive tackle out of New Orleans. He is the number 58 offensive tackle according to 24/7 Sports and number 45 tackle by the composite. He is a very technically sound and fundamental tackle. So he only weighs 265 pounds right now. I think he can get up if he needs to. He can bulk up. He can get a little more lean. I think he's not a great physical athlete when I watch him, but he's a very good run blocker. He holds his own in pass protection. I think that's kind of where he can improve a little bit. While his technique is good, I think once he adds a little bit more strength, a little bit more weight, he's going to be able to hold his own, because in the SEC, as we know, the defensive ends are just incredible, right? You go against some of the best in the country. And so while I think he's going to be in position a lot of time early in his career, he could struggle on the practice field. But he has good reactions. He has a solid foundation, and I really think he can build on that to be a quality player down the line, whether it's 2, 3, 4 years from now. At number 13, we have Mason Taylor out of Florida. The tight end prospect is more of a receiving tight end. He's a physical guy. He can run good routes. He catches balls in traffic. He has good catch radius. He's tall, like I said, 6'5". He leaves a little bit to be desired in the blocking front. I think that might just come with time, with fundamentals. But still, I like his athleticism. I like him as a long-term project a little bit more. And I think that his size kind of warrants itself to being an SEC tight end, right? LSU doesn't have that right now. They don't have a bona fide, receiving tight end. They had that in Jack Best, and now he's a receiver. And I think that's what he is going to be this year, and rightfully so. But Mason Taylor kind of gives them that moving forward, a player that they can mold, in a sense, to be that tight end of the future. At number 12, we have Tigey, a defensive lineman from New Orleans, who I'm a little higher on than the recruiting services. They have him at 87 roughly. I'd probably have him 89 or so. He's really fast in small spaces. I don't know if I see him as... I don't see him as a zero technique. I definitely would like him a little bit more on the guard, shaded inside, maybe even shaded outside the guard in a 3-down formation, depending on the defense. I think he's flexible in that way. He shoots gaps well. He can get pressure on the quarterback at a high level with his quickness, but I'm unsure of how much better he can get. So he's 6'2", 280 pounds. I think he has a pretty high floor. It's going to be interesting to see how he continues to develop. Does he get quicker? Does he slim down? Does he move defensive end? Does he get bigger? Does he move to an inside position? We don't even know what the defense is going to be, right, at this moment with Matt House, a 3-4-4-3 type thing. So I think he's can be flexible in either one, but it's where is he most comfortable? Where is he going to continue to improve? And how are they going to mold him in this defense? I still like his talent, but the projection is a little bit more difficult for me moving forward. At number 11, we have defensive back Jordan Allen, and I like Jordan Allen as a safety, not as much as a corner. His coverage ability as far as man-to-man on the outside might be a little bit more shaky, but I don't think that's why they recruited him to LSU. I think they recruited him as either a nickel or a safety, and as a safety, he can play in the box really, really well. That's his strength. He's a physical guy. He gets downhill really quickly. He can close on the ball carrier, and I could see him blowing up screens. I can see him blowing up runs and being that kind of guy who you throw in there just to create havoc. And even with that aggressive mentality, I was fine with what I saw with him in coverage. He has good ball skills. I think he can see the play develop. He reads quarterbacks pretty well. So I'm not as concerned on that level. I'm just interested to see how he's used at LSU, because I could see him at nickel and I could see him at safety. I could even see him putting on weight and being kind of more of a hybrid type guy. We'll have to see moving forward, but I like Jordan Allen's ability as a defensive back. Number 10, we have cornerback Jalen Davis-Robinson out of Waxahachie. And the one word to describe him is speed. He was a late pickup for them and the second signing day. He was one of only two. It was him and Harold Perkins were the only ones that signed this past Wednesday. But man, I like the pickup. I mean, as you can tell, I have him top 10 in this class, and it's because of his ability to play man-to-man on the outside. We've seen LSU have good man corners in the past. I don't think he's going to be able to do that like a Derek Stingley and step on the field and immediately be, a stud freshman. I think it'll take him time, which I'll get into in a bit, but the speed, the athleticism is there, and he's able to jam, able to press, able to get beat a step even at times and recover because of that speed. He ran track. He's a 10-6 sprinter. Like, this is a guy who I want to see develop. He can improve his ball skills. He can improve his awareness. I think there's areas where he gets downfield and kind of panics at times. He'll settle that down. He'll get under control. And I think he can be a really, really good player for this team in a couple years. Freshman, not so much. He's going to develop. He's going to be raw coming out of high school. He was rated an 87 by 247 Sports, an 88 by the Composite. I think that's about right. But damn, he is fast, and I like his upside. At number 9, we have Fitzgerald West, and this is the first real shocker, I guess, to this point, because according to the recruiting services, they have him at the bottom of this class. And I like Fitzgerald West a lot for what he is, right? I'm not projecting him to be a Neil Farrell as a freshman. Maybe eventually he gets there, but it's going to take time for him. And what I saw out of high school in Lafayette was a bulldozer, straight bulldozer, a guy who eats up blocks, a space eater, a guy who is great against the run in the A or B gaps. He sees plays really well, and that's one thing that kind of separates him. He has the low center of gravity, keeps his leverage. That's great because a lot of defensive tackles can do that, but he sees the play. He doesn't just put his head down and go to a gap or go to the backfield. He has his eyes up, he sees the play, and he navigates off that, and that's what impressed me. Not only can he draw double teams, but he can move blockers in a way that stood out to me, and that's what has him at 9th on this list. I mean, he's a strong athlete. He threw shot put, he threw discus at a really high level. He's 325 pounds at 6'2". Whether he wants to put on more weight or less weight, I don't know. That's up to LSU, but Fitzgerald West is a dude who I really like at defensive tackle for this class. At number 8, we have a linebacker in Demario Tolen, 6'2", out of Florida, and this might be low to some people because I know he is very, very kind of highly sought after. I think he's the number 5, 6 player in the class as far as like ratings go. I think a lot of that will come with time and as he puts on weight and as he puts on strength, because he has pretty much everything else. He has great closing speed, great balance. He's a sure-handed tackler. He played some receiver in high school as well, so we know he has good coverage, or at the very least good ball skills. And I think he's really under control despite how fast he plays. The speed at which he plays is going to catch people off guard. That's what's going to really catch people's eye, and that's where I can see his rating being really high. And I'm not saying the rating's not justified. I would have him probably around 90 as well. But I think once he puts on weight and once he puts on some muscle, not saying he's skinny, but still, once he puts on a little bit more muscle, he's really going to be able to fill in and play a role in an SEC defense at a high level, because from what I saw, he sees the game well. He reacts to the game well. He's just not a bruiser yet, right? He's not a guy that's coming in and putting tackles away at the moment. And I think once he does that, we could be seeing a Demario Tolen that's starting within 2 to 3 years. At number 7, we have a little bit of a shocker here in wide receiver Landon Ibieta. He was a late take for them in the December signing class, someone that Brian Kelly and whatever staff he had on at the time kind of willed over there. They threw an offer and he took it, and I love it. Landon Ibieta jumps off the page to me. He could be even higher on this list. Now, I don't think his ceiling is incredibly high. I don't think he's going to be an all-SEC receiver at any point in his career, but the floor is special. I mean, we're talking about a guy who is fast enough to where I trust him as a return man as a freshman. I trust him in the slot as a freshman. He's quick as well. He's good in short spaces. I would love to see him a little bit more as a route runner, because in high school they kind of just gave him the ball and said, all right, go run past people. But I mean, I could see him as a screen, catch the ball on a screen and break it. I could see him just making an instant impact on this offense and on this special team. He even made some contested catches. He's not small. He's 6 feet tall. I mean, he's just a tremendous athlete out of Mandeville. So no, he's not going to get like significantly faster, or he's not going to get significantly more explosive as a player than he already is. But what he is right now, I think, is kind of being underrated in a sense. And I think there's ways for him to be a very, very productive receiver for this LSU program in the coming years. I mean, he ends up being the only receiver in this class, and we understand why, because they have so many good young receivers. But Landon Ibieta could easily carve out a role in this offense. At number 6, we have quarterback Walker Howard. This might be low to some, but the quarterback from Lafayette is the number 6 quarterback in the country, according to 247, number 5 by the composite. And he's just a really, really good player. This is where it starts to separate for me. The top 6 of this class is special. Walker Howard is a poised pocket passer, 6'1", 195 pounds out of Lafayette. Just the precision he throws the ball, the comfort he has making tight throws, the fundamentals, the footwork, the release, the pocket awareness, all that stuff. Walker Howard checks all those boxes. Now, where you want to see him continue to improve is on the move a little bit, right? He made such quick reads in high school, and the reads were kind of obvious at times, that he didn't have to extend plays a ton. He didn't have to throw on the run a ton. The athleticism wasn't pushed in that way. And in the SEC, as we know, whether your offense line's good or not, you're going to be playing defenses that give you fits. And that's why I want to see Walker Howard kind of improve. Not saying that he has to be a good quarterback as a freshman against SEC defenses, but there are going to be times where he's going to have to be athletic and move and make plays. And I'm interested to see how he continues to develop as an athlete. His arm strength is good. He can place deep balls with the best of them. But the height and the limited athleticism could possibly lower his ceiling. And I think that's why I might be a little lower on him than others. Still, incredibly smart, incredibly accurate. So Walker Howard, number 6. I like him a lot. Very, very good quarterback, worthy of his rating, worthy of his ranking as a top 10, top 6 quarterback in the country. We'll see how he fits in Baton Rouge, especially when we assume, Brian Kelly's going to continue to bring in quality quarterbacks. At number 5, we have Emery Jones, interior offensive lineman. I probably have him projected at as a guard. Right now, he's at 341 pounds at 6'4" out of Baton Rouge. He could easily slim that down if he wants to. I don't think that's too big. He doesn't play like he's that big. He's pretty athletic if you watch the film. He's very physical. He has a great motor on him. He moved all over the offensive line his senior year. Watching the film, it's interesting trying to watch him at different positions, like just trying to track him. And so I think he has experience in all that. I think he's comfortable in different places, but definitely I like him as a guard moving forward. He at times can be too reliant on the upper body. He can lose his leverage at times. Could need to get more lean at the next level, like I said. But overall, I mean, he's just strong. He plays with some brute strength, brute physicality, and he's rated a 95 by 247, 95 by the composite. Top 5 interior offensive lineman in the country, and I think he's very, very deserving of those. I can't wait to see Emery Jones continue to develop. At number 4, we have Will Campbell, offensive tackle out of Monroe. 6'6", 300 pounds, great frame, a guy who I could see very well stepping into LSU's offensive line room and kind of finding a role, finding a niche early on. I think he can be a rotation piece on the depth chart early in his career. Whether that means he starts, I don't know. But just from what I've seen, I think he has the pass blocking fundamentals, and he can stay with quick defensive ends at a level where I'm very impressed out of high school. So he's a good run blocker. He pulls well. He's quick. The main thing for him is I liked how he finished blocks. He was angry, blocking, and that's something you like to see out of your offensive lineman is he was able to finish blocks. He didn't give the defenders a chance. But I like Will Campbell as an offensive tackle prospect. He is one of the best players in this class, no doubt, and I think he's going to have a very, very productive career at LSU. Number 3 is defensive end Quincy Wiggins, a player who's shot up a bit in the recruiting service rankings later in the year. He's 6'6", 274 pounds from Baton Rouge, and man, he is a disruptor off the edge. Just a complete disruptor. He's long. He has good range. He doesn't just he's not just a pass rusher. He sees the ball very well in the run game. He can shed blocks. He's long arms and that allow him to reach and make plays maybe outside of his range. He has an incredibly high ceiling because of that, and I think once he gets comfortable, like, the sky's the limit for him. This is a guy we could be talking about as, like we talked about Mason Smith as a freshman, right? As a guy who comes in and physically is able to play right away because of his strength and because of his length and athleticism. He has good speed. He has versatile pass rush moves. I would like to see him get a bit quicker off the ball. At times he just relied on his speed, and in high school you can get away with that. But his athleticism is obvious to anyone who watches it, and I'm not worried really about his reactions off the ball. So yeah, great pickup. Quincy Wiggins, 247 has him as the number 1 player in Louisiana, and I'm not mad at that. Number 2, another shocker, we have Terrence Welsh, cornerback out of Lafayette, Louisiana. I believe the recruiting services probably have him at 6th or 7th, somewhere around there in this class. I have him at number 2, and I can understand why. We'll get to in a second why they have him probably a little bit lower, but man, this dude is a playmaker at the cornerback position. The way he breaks on the ball, the speed, like, he basically has the elite speed, but he also has the ability to find the ball in coverage and make plays on the ball. And he has the awareness and has the star potential because of that. He's comfortable in press. He has some great hits, some great tackles on film, and he's just an all-around awesome athlete that I cannot see failing at the next level. Obviously, knock on wood, everything goes right, but the big problem for him has been the injuries. And he missed most of his junior season, I believe, and then senior year he got cut short as well. So you really just want to see him get healthy, and I think if he gets healthy and stays healthy, he's going to be a terrific corner, and I think a terrific get for this class. He's rated 93 by 247, 95 by the composite. And I'm very high on Terrence Welsh being a starting cornerback at LSU in the next couple of years. And number 1, we have Harold Perkins, the linebacker out of Cypress, Texas, 6'3", 210 pounds. If you haven't seen his highlight tape, just go watch it. Just Google Harold Perkins and go watch it. I promise your jaw is going to hit the floor, because there's a reason why he's the number 1 linebacker in the country, according to 247. He's the number 5 player in the country, according to the composite. This dude is dynamic. He is a ranging linebacker. He can attack. He hits. He's a running back in high school as well. He also played some receiver, all-around athlete. He does everything. And when that's the case, you get the athlete on campus and you worry about the rest later, because he can play anywhere. I don't care if he's at safety. I don't care if he's at defensive end. And I don't care if he's at linebacker. Harold Perkins is going to be a problem for every team in the SEC because of his quickness, his strength, his versatility. He can play any linebacker position. He played a lot of outside linebacker in high school, and I think that could be where he starts off, but he could step on campus in Baton Rouge over the summer and be the 2nd best linebacker on the team. And I don't think that's far-fetched. I think there's a real possibility of him playing a lot as a freshman. And that's not, LSU's linebacker depth isn't great right now, but even if it was, this is a dude you might just have to get on the field, because he plays with his hair on fire and he plays the game at an incredibly high level. So, he's a top 10 player in the country for a reason. Huge get for Brian Kelly and this team on the signing day on Wednesday, and I just want to see him in action, because if he's anything, if he's 80% of what his film showed, he's going to be a starting linebacker for LSU for the next 3 years, and that's special. And there you have it. There's 14 through 1 of this recruiting class for my personal rankings. Obviously, I'm pretty high on all these players. There's nobody on here where I'm like, oh, that guy is just, I don't know about him. No, I feel pretty good about all these players, at least their upside. And I think that's a really good sign for a program that transitioned their head coach, right? It was always going to be difficult, but to come out with the top end talent that they came out with, and then also some pieces that maybe flew under the radar. I am very impressed by this class. I think Brian Kelly did a good job. I think they set the foundation for what's to come, and this is a class worth commending. And we'll see how it all plays out. Obviously, it's early. Who knows? Maybe all 15 of these players are great. Maybe 10 of them are great. Maybe 5, maybe less. But at the end of the day, it's recruiting. We'll have to see. The big thing is getting Brian Kelly and his staff in here to produce the team that they want to. So we'll see how it all plays out. But I want to thank you all for joining me. If you enjoyed it, like I said, leave a like, subscribe, send it to a friend. Let me know what you think below. What is your 14 through 1 rankings? How would you rank them? And yeah, if you're not already, subscribe to Geaux247.com. I believe we're running a special right now, so go check that out on the site. And yeah, thanks for joining me. I'll talk to y'all later.